Hi guys and welcome to my Forza Horizon 4 predictions slash wishlist video pretty much. Now let's not waste any time, let's just jump straight into it with the big one, the location. Now I think I found a little pattern that's going on in the Forza Horizon series, because if we look at Forza Horizon 1, it was set in a rather specific location. They even referenced it as the US, and it was set on the North American or American continent. If we look at Forza Horizon 2, it wasn't really a set location. Obviously the region was meant to look like the south of France, Italy and so on, but they never referenced it as actually being France and Italy. But it was, yet again, on another continent, the European continent. And now if we look at Forza Horizon 3, it was, yet again, a specific region in the form of Australia. And again, they reference it as Australia, a specific location on yet again another continent, Australia. So I think for Forza Horizon 4, we're gonna jump back to an unspecific location. I don't think they're gonna reference like a certain country, like Japan or Thailand. They're not gonna do that. I think what they're gonna do is build a stereotypical Asian map, if that makes sense. Big mountain ranges, drifting roads, big cities. So I think that's gonna be what they are going for. And that also leads me to the next big thing, the cover car. Now in recent Forza games, if we take a look right here, the cover car kind of matched the game itself, or at least the location. We had the Dodge Viper, an American car, in Forza Horizon 1, which was set in America. If you take a look at Forza Horizon 2, it was set pretty much in Italy, south of France, and we had a Lamborghini. How fitting! But then, again, in Forza Horizon 3, we had the Lamborghini Centenario, which had nothing to do with Australia. I think only 2 Centenarios have actually been delivered to Australia, so that didn't make any sense at all. But I think I've got a cool theory here, and it might actually turn out to be true. I think the cover car for Forza Horizon 4 is gonna be the new Toyota Supra, and it will also mark the return of Toyota as a brand in Forza games in general, so that would be really cool. If we go for a stereotypical Asian map, I think we're gonna get the Supra as a cover car. Let me know in the comments down below what you think about that. It would be really cool actually if it turns out to be true. I'd rate that. From the cover car, let's move on to the cars themselves. If you compare Forza Horizon 4 to the most recent one, Forza 7, we're not gonna get a bunch of new cars, maybe 5, 7, maybe 10 new cars, which I'm fine with. But if we compare it to the previous Horizon game, which most people played, I'd imagine, we get a bunch of new cars to try out, including the Bugatti Chiron and many other supercars and funny cars, so I'm down with that. We have a bunch of new things to try out, so I think that's kind of cool. Now the next thing I wanted to talk about is not necessarily changing the career mode, but some cool things they could add to improve the overall career and the races in general. For example, custom races. We've had this in GTA for years now, where you just set checkpoints at different locations on the map, and you create pretty much a custom racing circuit or a custom point-to-point race. Endless possibilities and a really cool feature, and I really hope they're gonna implement that, and I think they will actually. I think they already introduced blueprint events, which kind of went into that direction, create your custom races. If they want to go one step further, which they kind of have to do, I think they're gonna implement custom races, which I'm really looking forward to, because that's an awesome feature. Another thing they could or should add probably are offline drag races. You just drive to the airport, a certain location on the airport, and a menu pops up. Do you want to have a drag race against, I don't know, 8 AI cars? And you just have a drag race, an offline drag race, without people from online, just AI racing against you. I don't think that would be difficult to code into the game, in my opinion, so that would be a really cool feature, offline drag races. And another thing, that's kind of a bit of an inside view here, because when I was doing my car builds in the Forza Horizon 3 dev build, I stumbled across something really rather interesting. The football pitch of Forza 4 and the football itself is in the Forza Horizon 3 game files. It's actually there. I haven't found a way to actually put it in the game, but the football pitch and the ball is actually in Forza Horizon 3. It's in the game files, it's there. So I don't know why they haven't added it, because it would be such a cool little, not Easter egg, but just a game to play with your friends. Another thing I wanted to talk about is, of course, customization. Now I think we've talked about this in previous Forza Horizon 3 videos, what I wanted to see in Forza Horizon 4 and so on. Again, the usuals, wide body kits, lowrider kits for your, I don't know, American cars, for example, lifted kits for trucks, for example, because let's face it, if it's again an Asian map, we're gonna have huge mountain ranges and you wanna have a proper off-road car. So lifting kits could actually be kind of cool. Again, not difficult to add. We can already do it in Forza Horizon 3, in the dev build of Forza Horizon 3. And another thing, and it's just a little detail, but it's those little details I think that make a game really enjoyable to play. Custom tire letters. Now, again, and this is actually possible in the Forza Horizon 3 dev build by changing the game file. I haven't really figured out how to do it yet, but it is possible. Custom tire letters. I don't know why they haven't like implemented yet. Maybe they have waited to Forza Horizon 4 to implement it. Hopefully, because it's a cool feature. Like, imagine you having your name on like the tire, or something like, I don't know, a cool catchphrase and so on your tire. It's just a cool feature. But let's go back to the actual career mode. There are a few things I really want to change, and I think they will change it from Forza Horizon 3, because if we look at the career modes of previous Forza Horizon games, they kind of changed over time, and I think they're gonna change it again for Forza Horizon 4. Now, one thing I really want, and we kind of had that in Forza Horizon 1, was the sort of driving against an end boss, like an end game boss, something you can't just easily beat first time round, something really difficult. Maybe like more like end bosses throughout the career to like really challenge the player, because that's what makes the game interesting. If you win every single race like first try, it's boring. Let's face it, it's boring. And I think if they add like certain end bosses, it could really make the game challenging and kind of interesting as well, and also give you a bit more of a sense in terms of progression, if that makes sense. Also, I mean, we kind of had this in Forza Horizon 3 with the Midnight Club cars. Really difficult challenges where you can win cars, certain cars, and you can't get those cars with like from buying them with real money, buying them with credits, buying them from the auction house or anything like that. You can only get those cars if you complete those really difficult challenges. That's what keeps you playing. That's what keeps you like wanting to maybe switch off some assists to go faster. I think that would be a really cool addition, and it shouldn't be like cars not everyone likes. It should actually be cars people care about. Let me know what you think about that in the comments down below. A few more details they really could add and should add that don't take a lot of time. For example, indicators. I don't know why they haven't added indicators yet. It's such a simple feature. It's just another extra button. Adding onto that, folding rooftops on convertibles. Now, again, I don't understand why they haven't added it yet, because it's actually possible, again, in the Forza Horizon 3 dev build. If you drive a car, you can open its top. Why did they lock it? I don't understand. We can, like, this is coded in Forza Horizon 3, and we can't do it. I don't know, like, I don't understand. It's those little features that make a game really good. I think it's time to jump to my last point, and that's the actual map. I think we're gonna have like a big mountain range. We're gonna have a sort of jungle again, maybe like a Thailand jungle-ish. We're gonna have beaches, obviously. Hopefully a big river, and hopefully a massive city. We had a cool city in Forza Horizon 3, but I don't think it was big enough. I want it to be a bit more shady, if that makes sense. I want to have like underground car parks, or just car parks in general, where you can have underground car meets, and that sort of like kind of Need for Speed feel, if that makes sense. What they also have to do, because the Crew 2 has already done this, the Crew 2 has a giant map, and they actually implemented actual real-life racetracks on the map. You can drive on the road and you can enter a raceway, race around the raceway, and then drive back onto the map. Awesome feature, and I think they have to add it this time round. Just a random little racetrack on the map, and it would just make for some cool things like drifting competitions, racing competitions. I don't know what. Little feature, again, okay, not a little feature, but it would be a cool feature. One of my personal favorites, and that's just because I wanna kind of do it, is a hill climb event. Now, I know we can sort of do it in the Blizzard Mountain expansion. We have like a big, huge mountain there. But I kind of want to have like a tarmac / off-road hill climb. That would be so cool. Like, I would love to make like a competition of which hypercar goes up the fastest. And that's pretty much it. Anyway guys, thanks for watching me ramble about Forza Horizon 4. Drop a like if you like this video, subscribe if you want to see more stuff like this in the future, and until next time, bye.